Hey everyone, welcome back. I'm Connelly. Here on this channel we talk about all things lifestyle, motherhood, fashion, just life in general. So if you're into that sort of thing, hit that subscribe button, like this video for more content, and I hope to see you around. And in today's video, we are talking about my experiencing cutting weight with keto. And this is actually the only thing that worked and helped me get rid of the baby weight. I had such a hard time, so I'll tell you a little bit about the background there and how I actually used keto and executed and what I did and what I ate and that sort of thing, and then the results I got. So yeah, I had my baby in February. I had gained a normal and average amount of weight, and of course I was looking forward to losing weight. And everyone talks about how much weight you lose and how many extra calories you burn when you are breastfeeding, when you're nursing. And so I really thought, okay, that's gonna be me. I'm gonna cut a bunch of weight. My sister did. She said she was even skinnier than before she got pregnant. Afterwards, because of nursing, I've had other friends tell me that. So I took that to heart and I was like, okay, I don't have to be afraid of this. I can do it. It's gonna be easy. It's gonna come natural. So I breastfed so much, and pumped to help increase supply and just make my body work that much harder. And yeah, did not lose the weight. I eventually lost the weight. I was probably only up about 5 pounds. Okay, so comes August, I was in my friend's wedding and I was still up about 5 pounds from my pre-pregnancy weight. But it was different, my body was different. So I could tell it wasn't just 5 extra pounds, it was additional fat and less muscle, if that makes sense. Because I just didn't look the same, I didn't feel right, it wasn't my ideal body. And I'm just really disappointed in myself that I didn't get down sooner. So anyway, after that wedding and after I saw some pictures of myself, that's when I realized I need to work a lot harder on this. I need to focus and make it happen. And so I started doing keto and it worked almost right away. Well, not right away because I was cheating a lot and not doing it. And if you don't do it right, it doesn't work, obviously. So the way keto works is that it's a ketogenic diet. You want to burn ketones, you want to burn fat instead of sugar. So what that means is that you cut out sugar and you cut out things that turn into sugar in your body, like carbs. So no breads, no pastas, no candies, cakes, ice cream, any of that sort of thing. And it sounds easy enough on paper, but you really have to know and understand what a carb is. For example, there are tons of carbs in bananas, but hardly any in olives. And how does that make sense? It doesn't make sense in my brain that some things like that have them and some things like that don't. So you have to learn and educate yourself on what you can eat and what you can't, then become successful. So I started doing keto and I started seeing some results, but I knew that I could do better, and that I was working so hard and changing my diet so much, and that I wanted to actually see more benefit come out of it. So I actually started introducing intermittent fasting as well. And so what that is you have an eating window basically. So you want to have a period of time where you're not eating that's pretty long. So 16 hours, for example. So you're eating for 8 hours. So maybe you eat from 11 to 6 or 7 or 10 to 6, which tended to be more of my window. And I work from home most of the time, so right at 10 I could go get breakfast. It wasn't like I didn't have a lunch break or something, that wasn't an issue for me, so that worked out great. Yeah, I would say about October is when I got really serious. Through the end of January, I cut 25 pounds, and that's a lot of weight. That's think about how much weight. Have you ever seen a 5 pound thing of representation of body fat? That's huge. So I felt really good and really motivated, and I kept going with it. And all of a sudden I started getting really dizzy. And one day I stood up and everything went black. And I had to sit down. I actually had to lay on the ground as soon as I could, so that, because I felt like I was going to pass out, and I didn't. But it turns out I was pregnant. Between being pregnant, so I actually went to the doctor because I was like, last pregnancy I was not this dizzy, I was not this lightheaded all the time. And they said, okay, when you're pregnant you burn an extra 300 calories. And when you're nursing, I was still nursing because my baby was only 11 months old. When you're nursing, you actually need 500 additional calories. So I needed 800 additional calories. I mean, I didn't, because obviously I wasn't burning that much when I was nursing based on my history of not losing weight. But so between being pregnant and then the extra calories also needed during nursing, I need an extra 800 or less. But yeah, so I wasn't eating enough basically and getting really sick. So I had to stop, and that's the reason I don't really have before after pictures. Like, I wasn't thinking that way about cutting weight, and like also getting pregnant could prevent me. And also with this pregnancy, this is my second, I started getting big like right away. It's so true what they say, that you just start getting big immediately. So that was my experience with keto. And yeah, basically I just had to start doing sugar. And now I don't have before and after pictures, but what I'm gonna do is find a video and things from we took a trip to Italy in November, so I'll show you like how big, you can really see it in my face, like how big my face was, and then you can compare it to now. Like, I just feel like it's a little more defined, a little more attractive, maybe a little less of this going on, if you know what I'm saying. And you can see it. And then of course I'm in blankets because I'm outside and it's so cold, but I'm 17 weeks and I have this baby bump. So yeah, there's no like before and after pictures to show you because I started showing right away. Oh, one thing I wanted to mention is on the actual diet, what I ate was low carb, like just anything that doesn't have carbs in it. So you can eat a lot of meats, a lot of low or no sugar yogurts, cheese. I'm not a big cheese fan. Your main carbs should come from vegetables. Easier said than done, but I found these low carb tortillas that I'll link below that are so good, and they worked really well to make easy fry in the pan quesadillas with vegetables. Got vegetables in that way. Ate a lot of eggs, peas, and things like that. Actually, pop, even with our sodas, a lot of people call it, with no sugar, you can do that. But some pops like have a bunch of carbs, even the diet no sugar ones, if they're an off-brand or kind of a sweet tasting one, I learned. So you have to really check. A lot of people say stick to around 25 grams of carbs. That just did not work for me. I was more of a 35 to 40 gram person, but it worked. So between the lower carbs and the intermittent fasting, I think it helped me to burn fat instead of sugar, and then also reduce calories overall in general. And then the calorie deficit helps you cut weight as well. And so nothing had really worked for me in the past because I wasn't focused on it. I was still eating sugars or low carbs, but also sugars in different areas. Can't do that with keto. So I really had to stick to it, and it finally paid off. It worked for me. So it's crazy because now that I'm pregnant, I'm eating the opposite of keto, like so many carbs, it's ridiculous. So I just am so nervous about the scale just popping right back up. It's been a slow go so far, so that's good in terms of weight gain for pregnancy. But after this pregnancy, as soon as I feel up to it, I'm gonna jump back on the keto diet, as long as I can like keep nursing and that sort of thing. If you are a big sweet tooth like me, you can find sugar-free candies, but a lot of time they have a bunch of carbs. So you have to figure out the lower calorie carb sweets. Like you can have a strawberry with a little bit of whipped cream. That is sweet but low calorie. And there are also freezer meals and really good recipes out there that you can follow. And the freezer used to be so unhealthy, you know, corn dogs and whatever else you'd buy in the freezer section, but now I feel like it's so much healthier. You can get so many good meats and vegetables there, so definitely don't overlook the freezer if you're starting a keto diet. I made this beautiful Tuscan butter shrimp, and I'll link to the recipe that I found, and it's so good. Just look up any recipe that sounds amazing to you. There's low carb breads you can make, so you have to feel that whole thing out. There's even desserts you can make, put a little cinnamon on it, and it's ready to go. But yeah, you just have to find what works for you. There's plenty of foods to figure out, and if I can do it, you can seriously do it. Oh, and if you love chips, you can get pork rinds if you're not a vegetarian. So I know I follow this one girl on YouTube, and she talks about making pork rind nachos when she was first starting out and getting used to the diet. She could kind of ease into it and not feel like she was giving up everything all at once. So I thought that was interesting. She and I can both do it. Hopefully you guys can do it as well, and I'd love to hear where you are with keto, if you've lost weight, what your experience has been, if you got the keto flu. That's not something I experienced, but I'm interested to hear if you guys got it. So with that, like and subscribe, comment below, and we'll see you next time. Thanks for watching. Bye.